NFL. Here to discuss that. Like I said before, we got games on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, even Christmas Day. Huge slates, a lot of playoff implications. Lawrence, I'll let you start first. What you got for us? First game of the week.
All right. I feel honored and blessed to start first. I'm going to start off with a strong one. They're going to make their case for I guess make their case for ruining hopes and killing dreams. I'm going unless circumstances change. I'm going to be going to Cleveland and Houston.
Oh,
And I'm going to be looking for Cleveland to pull off that upset win. Actually, they're the favorite, but I don't know how. But I guess because Chase Keenum is playing. On here, it's pretty much a pick 'em almost. But Cleveland is a 3-point favorite. But anyways, Joe Flacco currently with the Browns is just having an air raid attack. This last game, it did come down to earth a little bit, but it's nothing like too insane. I don't believe. And this is going to be one of those games that's on Christmas Eve, but not Eve. It's more like Christmas Eve day of. So it's something crazy. It's just, it's a good job they put it, on Christmas Eve because I think this was on Christmas Day. I don't know if I would watch it or not, because Christmas Day kind of, sort of is kind of for the NBA. I'm kind of glad the only interesting game was, Baltimore Ravens and 49ers at 8:15 because obviously at those two time periods, the games that they have on for NBA are pretty trash. I'm talking about them Heaties.
not true.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we offended him, everyone. Anywho, getting back to this game, I think this is the game that Cleveland kind of solidifies and marks themselves as 5th seed. But the reason why I think this is like a really big game and why it's going to mean so much is like Houston pretty much just saved their season yet last week against the Titans.
Yep.
But that comeback overtime win, I mean, sheesh. If you lost that one, you're sitting there at 7-7, and that's just like outside looking in for the AFC. And essentially, Houston has to keep winning if they want to make the playoffs. Because their schedule coming up is Browns, Titans, and Colts. Colts want to make the playoffs, so they're going to play really hard. Titans, well, you just beat them, and I mean that's just a get back game. That's just a revenge game for the Titans. So you can't be going in there all willy nilly. Oh yeah, we just beat them, so we can beat them again. No, they should have beaten you. You got not going to say you got lucky, but things have been fortunate in your favor to allow you to come back and win that game. Coins don't always flip twice the same way, so essentially they get to have two home games back to back, and then get to finish at the Colts. In my opinion, Houston just needs to start winning and win out. That's just how they have to do it. That's how they have to have their mindset. Because currently, you're behind the Colts. You can make that up in the last week, but you're fighting there with Cleveland Browns. If they win this game, you're not catching them. So that automatically is a spot gone. Then you're fighting with the Broncos, Steelers, Bengals, Colts. I mean, you name it. Bills. You're fighting everyone. So, and essentially looking at it in a different perspective, if the Bills likely look at them are really red hot as they are right now, you're basically playing for one playoff spot. Because Bills, Dolphins, they're both probably getting in. Browns are getting in if they win this game. Outside of that, it's like, okay, everyone's going to be fighting for the last spot. Because if we think the Bills are as red hot as they are, the Bills are going to squeak in there. Or the Dolphins are going to take their place at the bottom of the barrel in the AFC. Then you got the Bengals that want in. I mean, you can't lose. And I feel like this might be, like I said, if circumstances stay the way that they are, and CJ Stroud doesn't play, I kind of favor Cleveland heavy in this game. I think the lines are the way they are because they believe that CJ Stroud will play. But that concussion he got was pretty severe. So
yeah,
hopefully he can make a turnaround. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know how you look at this division as well because the Jags are not good anymore. Like they're just You're fish out of water. They probably should have let Trevor Lawrence take a couple weeks off. He got injured, and he hasn't won a game since getting injured. And they're now 8-6 as well. So it's a crapshoot for the division. You can't lose one game, and I think that's why this game is going to be so important. Is I think the Browns solidify themselves, their position, and I think the Cleveland Browns, if they solidify their position this week, because if they win, they're basically in. You can make a case of you can pick who you want to play because you're probably not going to win the division, so you can pick who you want to play in the division. I mean, you lose 2 games, so you can be the 6th seed. So be it. You be the 6th seed because you think your matchup is more favorable in that position, or you want to be the 5th seed. By all means, be the 5th seed, but it doesn't really change much. 5th, 6th, or 7th seed. It's just basically kind of how you want to match it up, who you want to play against. But if I was the Browns, I want to be playing that 4th seed because I think whoever comes out of the AFC South is it's going to be beaten up or a questionable team at this point in the season. Because Jags, they look fun to beat up. Colts, I mean, Gardner Minshew is playing pretty good, but do we believe it? Do we believe he can do it in the playoffs? And then, I mean, Houston, if they get in the playoffs with C.J. Stroud at the 4th seed, just kind of think how fun it would be to take advantage of a rookie quarterback and it's most of the time they don't do good in their first shots in the playoffs. They got to figure out where that ice in the vein comes from.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'll be interesting to see what happens coming out of this game. My first game of the week is pretty obvious. Playoff implications. Cincy and Pittsburgh. Mitch the Bitch is not starting anymore. Mason Rudolph is now their starting quarterback. A lot of controversy coming out of Pittsburgh. People starting to question good coach, good old Mike Tomlin, one of my favorite coaches, even though he's a rival. You heard Big Ben talking a little smack, talking about the culture isn't right. Offense isn't like the defense anymore. Saw last week how George Pickens didn't block because on that one rushing play because he didn't want to, have any injuries or whatever kind of bullshit response he said. They're cooked, I think. I mean, we've been saying it for weeks, and we said it last episode. Like, it's just not looking good. We said injuries are going to start piling up, and they're going to start losing their mojo. It seems like, getting rid of Matt Canada didn't really fix anything. If you look at the statistics, there are 2 points less per game offensively. So I know Kenny is out, but that's just not a good look right there. Najee Harris just doesn't look good at all. I mean, you can see his stats, 4 touchdowns. I mean,
Bryce
that's not
Young
good.
is having a horrible season and has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
So
that tells you all you need to know right there. And we all thought Pickett would take some type of leap this year, and he has regressed.
How many games has Flacco played in? 2 or 3? Is it 3 or 8?
Flacco's in 2, I think. No,
because Flacco has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett as well.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So with all this turmoil, even though they are playing, I think they're playing in Pittsburgh. I think even at home, Pittsburgh they're not in a good spot. I think they lost 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
No, 3 in a row. Lost the last 4 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, the spread is at -2. It's probably going to be close because, since he defensively hasn't been good, but they've gotten stops when they needed it.
So that under? Is it under at 36 now? And it started at 39. Now it's at 36. Ouch. 39 looked fun. But now 36 looks... So this... To me, this looks like a fun game to parlay Bengals money line with under 39.5. So buy some points on the over-under and take the money line of the Bengals.
Yeah, because the points as is right now, I'm leaning more towards over, just because I feel like both teams can put up at least 18. I feel like, or since he could probably put up 24, 27, something like that, and then Steelers could score I don't know. They could definitely score because our defense, like I said, hasn't been good. But I mean, with this, I'm thinking as far as betting, this is a pick 'em, but I would pick Cincinnati maybe parlay that into something else, get some juice. But yeah, Chase is out for at least 1 week. So Higgins, Tanner Hudson, Irwin, Boyd, you're going to have to step up. Jake Browning, you're going to have to watch out, buddy, because that Pittsburgh front is still going to come after you. I know TJ is a little bit banged up, but when it's a division game, that makes it even better. So he's definitely going to suit up and he's going to come after you. So, yeah, I'm going Bengals. What you got for your second game?
Alrighty. My second game, I'm looking down the list. I'm looking at all the interesting factoids. Man, I thought about it beforehand. I know we're going to talk about Baltimore, San Francisco later on, probably together.
Yep.
We've already talked about Dallas, Miami, low-key, last episode, so I don't need to get right back into that either. We basically kind of hit on that. If we're talking about potential upsets, something interesting to that might happen this weekend, it would be a Christmas miracle in my opinion. But I can see in a world based on how the first matchup went, the Raiders beating the Chiefs. I know they're in Kansas City, but based on how that first matchup went, I just feel like that coach for the Raiders,
Travis Kelce, is not as productive.
I think the players at this point are playing. The players for the Raiders are playing like the players for the Panthers did last year for
Steve Wilks.
And I think it's being rewarded because that coach he looks like he's doing a masterclass.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce is good. He's good.
And you also got to think about it like the Raiders. They have nothing to lose. They don't care about anything. They're not making the playoffs. If they did, it would be a miracle to make the playoffs too. But in the back of their minds, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're just out there to go whoop some ass and take some names. And the over/under, they put up 63 points. They put up 63 against the Chargers. And if I remember correctly, no one on the Chargers defense was hurt besides Bosa. So it's not like the Chargers defense was like completely overhauled and they had, makeshift guys in there like Derwin James, Will Mack. They're all playing. They all just got their ass whooped. And you can't even blame even if Herbert was there, what are you gonna blame Herbert for then? Oh dang, Herbert, you didn't put up 63. Sorry, it's kind of hard to put up 63. That's why it was the first time in Raiders history they put up 63 or something like that. I remember reading. So and the Raiders have been around forever.
This is true.
I can just see it now, like a Christmas miracle. And plus, Kansas City has not been playing good. they just not. That spread at 10, the Raiders almost covered it last time at 10. And it was a couple of unfortunate events in which it is the reason why they didn't cover it. But the quarterback, he just has to play the position to which don't turn the ball over, which in some games he's done a good job at it. Some games he's not done a good job at it. Patrick Mahomes of lately has not had a good job of not turning the ball over, but it's also not really his fault either. It's half the time it's his own players.
Yep.
Just being complete awful. Isaiah Pacheco hasn't played for 2 weeks. Without Isaiah Pacheco, their running game has looked inutile, which means useless. The Raiders, they can get to the quarterback. They can pass rush. We saw it last week. They can pass rush. Kansas City's whole problem this year is their tackles have not been on point. We might see Max Crosby have a field day against them. We don't know. It's a Christmas miracle time. We're talking about miracles here. And we're just shooting for it, So I can easily see the Raiders making a game of it, making a great spectacle. Kansas City. Do I think they absolutely by far and wide win? No, I can't tell you that. But go from scoring 3-0 1 week to going 63-21.
Yeah,
I mean, that just kind of shows you how volatile this team is. It's either on or it's not. It's going to be a nice day in Kansas City, so it's just, cloudy with 40 degrees. I mean, that's fine. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. Kelce has been in the news for every other thing in the world, but he has not looked good. He just hasn't looked good.
No. That's
at this point in time, the only wide receiver on that team that's even worth anything is Rice.
Yep.
And I know that the Raiders got rid of Marcus Peters, but regardless of that, they got rid of Marcus Peters, and they've actually become quite good. Maybe he was just a toxicity in the locker room. I don't know, but maybe it had to be done. But I could easily see the Raiders making an upset here.
Yeah, no, they definitely. I mean, Chiefs, just like you said, have not been playing well. They're definitely going to lose at least one more game. I think that's what we said maybe a week or two ago. So it could be this game. It could be next week. We'll have to see. For me, my second game before we talk about the Ravens and 49ers, I'm going to go with actually tomorrow's game. Saints and Rams. I think this has huge implications because, New Orleans is looking to win the division. That's probably the only way you can probably sneak in the NFC. And then the Rams. The Rams have caught fire. I think they've won the last 4 out of 5 or something like that.
Let's go test your knowledge. Yep.
4 out of 5, and they lost to Baltimore in overtime. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, they would have won that game if they just covered the punt. Special teams is really important. But anyway, going back to the game, this is huge. Derek Carr looked like he got into a groove last week, but honestly, Carr has been on and off, hit or miss. He's kind of like Gabe Davis this season. One day he has a good game, the next week he looks piss poor. Matt Stafford is definitely on the heater right now. This man is slinging it. Multiple touchdowns in every single of the last 5 games, I'm pretty sure. Kupp is back to his old self. And Puka Nacua, this man is just cooking. You can see his stats right here: 87 catches for 1,100 yards, 4 tubs. I mean, outstanding rookie season. I think it's going to come down to gunslinging. Honestly, I think Chris Olave, he should be playing. He did get hurt last game. It's going to come down to gunslinging. Which quarterback is going to put up the best numbers? Not going to turn the ball over. Because both running games aren't magnificent. Both teams want to run the ball, but it's just hasn't looked the best for either team, right? And
the Saints' running game is mainly just a quick dink route to Alvin Kamara. They don't even run the ball, man. It's just quick dink to him.
Yeah, and so with that, like I said, it's gonna be up to the gunslinging, who can sling it better, who can keep the ball, not turn the ball over. Because turnovers is what's going to be this game. If you can get a turnover or 2 on defense, either side, because both teams' defenses are decent, get a turnover or 2, that's going to be the game. That's going to be the ball game right there. Both teams are 7-7, so yeah, like I said, this is huge implications. Saints with a win in the NFC South goes a long way. And then with the Rams, hey, your division, there's the 3 contenders are still. I mean, Seahawks just beat the Eagles. Seahawks still alive. You gotta match them win for win now to see who's gonna get second place in that division, and then whoever gets in second place is gonna get that 6th or 7th playoff spot. So, because Dallas has the 5th, we think, or maybe Eagles look bad, so maybe the Eagles get the 5th spot. We don't know, but it's gonna be one of those 2, and then it's going to be whoever is in second place in the NFC, NFC West. So it'll be a good game. It'll probably be the best Thursday night game we've seen because the rest of them have been poop. They have been poop.
Yeah, the last good Thursday night game was Carolina versus the Bears, if I remember right.
I don't know about that one.
Whoa.
I think, no, actually, it was going to be Bengals and Ravens until Joey got hurt, but this is probably the best one. So with that being said, I mean, we already pretty much, like you said, hit on Dallas Miami last week. It's going to be a good game. We'll see if Dallas can take the show on the road. Probably not. Definitely, I'm favoring Miami in this one. But the Christmas Day game, probably the best game of the week, honestly. Ravens, 49ers, the two number one seeds, the two powerhouses. Very similar teams, although 49ers, you could probably say, a little bit more pass happy. I mean, look at the spread. I mean, they're in Levi Stadium. San Fran's favored by 5. Now, what? San Fran was favored by 3 in Philly, right? So
Yep.
They would have got 6 if they were at home. So basically, they're saying Baltimore's a little bit better than Philly. Do we think that's the case? Does Baltimore have a better shot to beat the 49ers than Philly?
I think they did before Keaton Mitchell got hurt. I think that was the big blow to the Ravens, and I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna take a few weeks. Well, not a few weeks. I think it's probably about a week to figure out what the heck they're gonna be doing. Where their game plan is gonna head to. Because right now, they're, according to that, like Lamar Jackson's their leading running back. Did you know the memes correctly? We were going to have an awesome game from Nick Bosa. He sees a little darkness on the other side, and he's just got he's in for the kill.
He's going for the kill.
And now he's got his buddy from college right next to him.
Yeah.
Who's probably an honorary killer. Anywho, no, something that I think is gonna be interesting in this game is I think it's funny how Brock Purdy is like in more of a running for MVP than Christian McCaffrey is in the running for the MVP.
Yeah.
But like, let's be honest here. You didn't have Deebo Samuel for 3 games. I think it was like 2 games. But you didn't have Deebo Samuel for like 2 games, and you didn't win any of those games. Not trying to say Brock Purdy's not good. Obviously, Brock Purdy's pretty good. He's like pretty good, right? He's pretty good. He's not great. He's not amazing. He's not like, oh my god, like I just lost my pants. He's that good. No, like he's just pretty good. He's like pretty good. But Christian McCaffrey's like awesome. Like it's kind of hard to stop him. I mean,
yeah,
he scored a touchdown for like 15 straight weeks.
Yep.
And that's what just is mind-boggling to me. Do I think Christian McCaffrey should be above Lamar Jackson for MVP? No, not really. But I think Christian McCaffrey should be above his own quarterback for MVP. Because, I mean, half of Purdy's touchdowns are also McCaffrey. Because what they're showing you right there, 13 touchdowns for McCaffrey, that's just his 13 rushing touchdowns. He's got like 6 passing touchdowns, or receiving touchdowns, sorry. He's got almost 20 touchdowns. I think the only person in the league with more touchdowns than him is Mostert. And, I mean, Mostert just kind of gets fed. He got fed, 3 against the Broncos? And, he gets fed 2 or 3 every other game. So, McCaffrey also has a lot more mouths to feed on his team because... No offense, but Waddle is more of a team guy. Waddle steps back to let Hill do his thing because Waddle's just really happy to be winning. Also, Devon Achane was there, but then Devon Achane was only there for 4 games and got hurt, so he was never there around very long. Christian McCaffrey has to share with Kittle, Ayuk, Samuel, and then whatever other guy, Mitchell, they throw out there to get a pass as well. So I think that's something that's funny to look at this game. Maybe Christian McCaffrey kind of makes his case on, everyone in the world is, well, not everyone in the world, sorry. Most people in the United States, not everyone in the world, but most people in the United States are watching this game. Maybe some Canadians, maybe some Mexicans, we all like these games.
Brazilians. You're British and I think the British, they watch.
They're not going to be up at, what would it be, 1 a.m.?
Oh, yeah, it'd be really late for them. So whoever is in North America time zones.
Yeah, so, I mean, the way I look at this game, I don't think Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham Jr. is anything to worry about on the injury report. It's probably just an illness. Pretty much everyone's getting ill. at this point in the season. It just happens.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's cold.
But
flu's going around.
I don't know. The Ravens playing NFC teams have pretty much blown out most NFC teams this year.
But that's been at home though. They're on the road.
Yeah.
They're
I
on
was
the
going to
road.
say that as well. But I don't know. I just feel like the 49ers are like a team right now that like I don't know if I want to try them too hard. Like, in my opinion, this game should be kind of a defensive fight. I kind of think this is going to be more of a shootout kind of game. That's the vibe I get. So I mean that over-unders at 46.5. It started at 45.5. I feel pretty confident saying like the over is going to hit. So like some of the parlay is like 49ers money line, because I don't think the Ravens can beat them in San Fran, and over-under, take the over, parlay them together with something that you almost know is pretty much guaranteed is a Christian McCaffrey touchdown, and you got a little three-legger right there. And probably Lamar touchdown too. I mean, Lamar's going to be running away from Bosa, so he's probably going to try to be running towards the end zone when he does it. So,
yeah, I was just about to say, Lamar is definitely going to be featured as I think they're going to do what the Bills did and start running, do some more dedicated quarterback runs. Josh Allen has been running a lot more, but also they've been letting James Cook, right? But in this case, they don't have a James Cook. Their running backs are falling like trees, right? So definitely Lamar's going to be running the ball. I could easily see 50, 60 yards rushing from Lamar, a touchdown, Christian McCaffrey touchdown, and then parlay that with the over because, it's starting to trend up. So when it starts to trend up, it's hard to predict scores at least. Vegas is pretty good at, with the spread and stuff like that. But when it comes to scoring, it's pretty, it's pretty hard to predict. But when it starts to trend up like that, you might as well just get ahead of the curve right before it gets to who knows, before kickoff, it might get to 48.5, something ridiculous like that. So take it while it's low. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a shootout. And I think I said this 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is the Ravens. I think their biggest obstacle, right, is shootouts because Lamar has played great this year, but he hasn't. The MVP talk, I think, is a little premature because I don't think, honestly, you can't say for certain that they're winning because of him. They definitely have a really good offensive group, and I think collectively the offense is just been a lot better. I mean, his numbers they're good, but they're not outstanding. And there have been turnovers on offense, and at times they have been stagnant, and their biggest problem is their secondary. So what do the 49ers have? They got offensive weapons everywhere, out the butt, right? They got Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, McCaffrey. The list goes on and on. And their biggest thing,
forget about him, Juwan Jennings gets your ass too. So,
and their biggest thing is, when they get a lead, they're gonna keep the foot on the pedal. And I think the Ravens, their biggest thing is they can get a lead and then they kind of take the foot off the pedal. So we're going to see, I think the biggest key to this game is who gets that lead first, who can establish a lead and who's going to be able to fight back. Because if the 49ers get the lead, I don't think the Ravens, if the 49ers go up by 10, I think it's hard for the Ravens to kind of cut back into the game. But if the Ravens go up by 10 or something, 10 or 14, we'll see the 49ers if they can come back from behind. We haven't really seen it this year, but it'll be a good game. It's definitely going to be a shootout. I'm going to go 49ers just because they're at home.
So an interesting factoid, because you brought up the fact that they're playing an NFC team on the road. The last NFC team they played on the road was the Cardinals, and they only won it 31-24. And that's the Cardinals.
31-24, wow.
So they only won 31-24. That was the Cardinals with Dobbs. So it's not a Kyler Murray Cardinals, but it's still, it was a decent Cardinals. But if you look at the stat sheet, Cardinals kind of outplayed them. Cardinals had more sacks. Cardinals had more yards. They had more rushing and passing yards. They unfortunately threw 2 interceptions, so that wasn't in their favor. They went 0 for 2 on 4th down, had more time possession, and had more penalties. So what you would figure a Cardinals team to do, which is pretty much the opposite of what you'll believe a 49ers team to do. And if we don't remember correctly, the 49ers just beat the Cardinals 45-29.
Yep.
And, it could have been worse, but I feel like that's one of the reasons why this game might be a shootout. And the 49ers just pull away from them at the end. No.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, they're not really looking to possess the ball that long. I feel like they're looking to put up points on the board. And I think the Ravens, their biggest thing is controlling the time of possession, right? They're going to run the ball. They're going to bleed the clock. They're going to make it so that you don't have a lot of time to score when you get the ball. But if we're honest, the 49ers don't need a lot of time to score. They get big chunk plays. The Ravens, they give up big chunk plays. So I think that's why this is just not lopsided, but this is a clear mismatch situation. Unless the Ravens, and John Harbaugh, cook up something. Because this is I know they're both alphas. They're both the best in their respective conferences, but it's kind of a mismatch. If you want to be honest, this is a mismatch in terms of style of play. It's going to be hard for the Ravens to just turn around their style of play and just go toe for toe with the 49ers, putting up points quickly,
I believe it.
All right. Any final thoughts on Week 16? We got a bunch of good games.
I don't really have any more final thoughts. I'm hopeful for certain teams to win. See if they can or not. Sunday 24th. I don't know how many games I'll be watching that whole day. There might be too many festivities going on to be paying too much attention. The 25th. I don't know if I'll be watching. There'll be a lot of driving and festivities as well. So we'll see. We'll see what games we actually get to watch and what games we don't actually get to watch.
Yeah.
I think the one game I will try to, without a doubt, see is Miami-Dallas. Obviously, I'm going to be watching 49ers-Baltimore. What else do you want me to watch? Heat and 76ers?
This man's hating, y'all. He's a hater.
Hating. How am I hating? Man, get out of here.
Hello there, and welcome to the MTL Sports Podcast. Thank you for watching this video clip of one of our most recent episodes. Please drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section below, and also please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with the most recent MTL Sports Podcast content. For those that don't know, we are also available on Spotify for those who listen audio only. Once again, thank you so much, and this is the MTL Sports Podcast. You whip up my appetite.